Well, folks, I feel like it's time to tell the truth to you in a very special way that only I can do. See, there's a house on the corner that's yellow. Nobody lives inside. Think somebody tried to sell it. Nobody wanted to buy. Here comes me, no winner. Here comes Father Time. Baby, here comes a bad old summer. And nothing else here rhymes, because the animals run the house. Animals run the house. Animals run the house. I think the animals run the house. Well, I said, those sound like regular noises you hear from a house. Cats and dogs. And why did my sister send me over here? There's nothing abnormal about this place. Well, I walked up on the front porch. The postman said, I'm leaving, man. Some guy was sleeping on the porch. He ran down the block screaming, man. Well, Galen said, hey, Vic, come on, let's go drink some beers in there. I said, I don't want to go in there, you know? It looks kind of weird in there. I think the animals run the house. I looked through the window. The animals run the house. I saw some weird little eyes looking back at me. I thought the animals run the house. Yeah, I just had a feeling. You know, I had a feeling. But I remember that when you get a certain kind of feeling, like, you're kind of supposed to follow the thread. So I picked up the thread and I followed it to the front door, and I put my hand on that doorknob, and I opened up that door, and then this is what I saw. There were spiders on the floor. There were worms on the wall. There was an amoeba hanging off the doorknob, and there was all sorts of shit in the hall. When I walked around the corner, I saw a big dog sleeping in the bed. And when I went to that toilet, I saw a bullfrog sitting on the head. A bullfrog sitting on the head. I saw a bullfrog sitting on the head. I saw a big bullfrog, a big bullfrog, a big bullfrog sitting on the head. Woo! And I said, bullfrog, what are you doing here on the border between the Bronx and Westchester? Why? You don't belong here. This is not a swamp. Not like New Jersey. It's not a swamp. This is not Kearney or Kearney or Bayonne or that swampy areas where you would expect to find bullfrogs. No. He looked at me. He said, ribbit, ribbit. And I said, stop bullshitting me, man. I've been to the Bronx Zoo. I know that bullfrogs don't say ribbit. He looked at me with his yellow eyes and he said, ribbit, ribbit. And I waited. And he said, listen, man. I said, what? What do you got to say to me, bullfrog? What do you got to say? He said, there's rules in this house, kid. I said, it looks pretty dirty in here. It don't look like there's no rules in here. He said, well, there's rules in this house. He said, come in, dog and mouse. Come in, cat and monkey. It may seem unclean, may seem unresolved and funky. He said, you may feel kind of weird. You may feel all wrong here. You may, if you do, well, it's cause you don't belong there. You see, the animals run the house, man. Animals run the house. Animals run the house. He said, the animals run the house. Ribbit, ribbit. Well, I turned around and I thought, well, maybe it's time to leave. And I backed up right into like, well, I couldn't get through. I looked at that sheep and it looked real mean, so I turned to the left and it was like, well, I tried tried to get out the window, but there was my old cat was sitting in the window. He had made friends. I tried to get on the floor. It was like all sorts of weird shit on the floor. Well, I decided to approach the chickens first. There was a crowd of chickens to my right. And I looked at them and I said, "Hey chickens, you gonna let me through?" And they said, I said, "Stop talking about me, chickens." I went back to the sheep. I was like, "Hey sheep, come on, give me a break, you know?" I said, "What I ever do to you, man?" And they were like, they looked at me, they didn't look at me good, man. They looked at me bad. Well, I knew I had to change my perspective. So I got up on a chair, you know? And I said, "Hey, listen, animals. You guys think I'm some kind of bad human or something, but I mean, you know, we got a lot in common, you know?" And the horse was like, "Ooh." And I said, "Come on, we got a lot in common. I don't know what you guys are doing all crowded into this weird little house over here, but you know, it's some kind of utopian situation you got over here. It's cool. I support that. I'm like, you know, I try not to drive around a lot. I take public transportation, you know. I'm trying to make not such a big carbon footprint, you know. The animals, they didn't want to hear about that. They're like, "Rrr." I said, "Hey animals, I'm like you." I said, "Give me, you know, take a whiff, man." Animals, even the animals didn't like the way I smelled. It was terrible. So I decided to flatter them. I said, "Animals, you understand me. You don't want me to go to school. You don't want me to go to work." They said, "Yeah." I said, "You don't want to tell me who to vote for. You don't want to make me start a war." They were like, I said, "Animals, why don't you guys run my house, you know?" They started to get a peaceful feeling, you know? The animals were starting to dig me. They started to understand. I was into collective bargaining. They understood. They said, they understood that if the animals stuck together, things would be all right. They didn't want to believe that there was animals all the way on the other side of the world that hated them just because they were American animals. Come on. We said, man, animals are animals. And I said, a human's an animal too, you know? And I closed my eyes and I just listened to them, man. I listened and I listened. And I tried to learn a little bit from the things that the animals were saying. Do I hear any animals saying anything over here? What? I said animals run the house. Animals run the house. I said animals run the house. I said animals run the house. I said animal, animal. I said animals run the house. Animals run the house. Animals run the house.